Hello YouTube, and welcome to this brand new bodybuilding program based off of the physique of Henry Cavill, who played Superman and who I think embodies what Superman should look like with a very dominant upper body. And I think I'm not the only person who thinks that because many men have that specific physique as their dream body. That's their goal. They want to look like this. But they also might have started to believe that it's absolutely impossible, maybe because Henry Cavill has specific genetics, he has a specific frame, or because he is on steroids. Both of these options are possible. I think that there is some of that for the first one. He is fairly gifted in terms of frame, and since he's a Hollywood actor, of course, there is a strong chance that he's on the juice. That being said, knowing what we know about the guy, he's very dedicated. We saw that with his roles as the Witcher, to the point that he gets fired from roles because he refuses to deviate from the canon and the lore. So I think that there is actually a chance that he's just super focused on his goals, puts in the effort, and actually got that naturally. But that doesn't really matter for us because what truly is going to be the point of contention is it possible to look like him without steroids? And to that I say, yes, absolutely it is possible. His physique is achievable naturally. The Superman aesthetic is achievable naturally as long as you train properly. So this is why I wanted to come up with this challenge to you guys. If your goal physique is Henry Cavill, prove to yourself that you have what it takes to do it. I'm going to provide the strategy to you, I'm going to give you the training plan, and then it's going to be up to you to actually put in the work. Now, that being said, before we move into it, I want to insist on specific aspects of the body of your dreams that are going to be strong focuses of this program so that you understand why it's going to be crafted this way. So if you look at Henry Cavill's body, the first thing that just jumps is the shoulders and the scapular belt. So everything that is up here, everything is massive on him. Everything connects from the delt to the chest to the traps. All of that is super strong. So it has to be a strong focus in the program as well. When you plan and strategize for your dream body, the plan has to reflect the body. So chest, shoulder are going to be a big emphasis as well as the traps. But it's not just that, because I think that if Henry Cavill had small arms, he would look ridiculous. Superman always have massive arms. It's sort of his trademark. So it's no surprise that he would also blow up his arms, and this is why he has massive biceps as well. Biceps and not triceps. You will notice that from the front and the scenes from the front, he always looks jacked and massive. When he turns around, he doesn't really have that sweep and that 3D effect of the arm. So we will not be focusing on the triceps that much. The front is really what makes Superman. So the abs are also going to be very important. I insist on this. If you want to look like Henry Cavill, you have to train your abs. There's no way around that. I'm going to explain to you later why. Then in terms of medium focus, things that are developed but not that developed, we have the lats, the upper back, so the mid traps, etc., which are big but not incredible. The neck is also good. I think that the standard to get the Henry Cavill physique would be to have a neck that at least connects with the jawline. That's the minimum. You can, of course, go higher. Then the forearms, he has pretty big forearms, so we'll focus on that as well, and the quads. And then the things that are not a focus at all and are barely touched in the program are the triceps, the posterior chain, so the glutes and the hamstrings are not that big on him, the calves and the real delts. You will see and notice in his shoulders that he has a lot of mass here, but that the back of the shoulder is not that big. That's okay. It's in line with the aesthetic and the goal that we want to achieve with this program. Now, the point that I want you guys to focus on, because it truly makes or breaks the physique, is the fact that Henry Cavill is bare mode. Okay, he's not shredded, he's not 9% body fat. In every single one of his apparitions on the screen where he looks massive because he is quote unquote high body fat. Just like I am high body fat. I'm 15% plus, and so is he. And if you think, well, how is that possible? You have veins, you have a six pack. Yes, it's because I have a lot of muscles, just like he has a lot of muscles. This is the point that is going to decide and define whether or not you reach the Superman aesthetic or you reach the Spider-Man aesthetic. If you want to be as big as Henry Cavill, you're going to have to slow bulk, and you're going to have to accept the fact that you're going to be slightly higher body fat. You won't be as shredded, but that's perfectly fine because this physique is defined by the bulk. Okay, Henry Cavill is bulky. He's a buff dude. No one looks at him and says, "Oh, he's shredded." So that's up to you. I know that many people love that physique. I love it as well. There's the reason why I rock the high body fat is because I like the look, I like being huge, but I also like how sustainable it is. You don't have to worry so much about the diet. You can put all of your energy in the gym. And you will need a lot of energy if you follow that program because it's a 3 times a week upper lower full body split that is going to be extremely tiring because since you only train 3 days, I'm packing a ton of intensity and volume on every single day for every body part that we want to see grow. You have a 4th day that is an active recovery day on Sunday that is optional. I still recommend you do it. It takes care of some of the imbalances and it's going to make it easier for you to come back on Monday to start hitting the program again and be fresh. This program is for intermediates. If you attempt to run this as a novice, you're going to crash and burn. If you are new and you are skinny or very far away from the Henri Cavill physique, it is fine. Understand that it took him many years to get to his level, and it will be the exact same for you. So if you want something to start with, please check out the description. I'm going to put a bunch of my own programs in there with the level that you need to be at to jump on them, and that way you will have something to scale upwards so that you can eventually run this program one day. So the 3 times a week upper lower full body starts with the Monday upper. We begin this split with a bench press, a dip, or a weighted push-up. So essentially, we want to do a heavy push that is going to target the chest. So an horizontal push. Anything that targets the chest, we actually accept. It's fine. We'll do 4 sets of 4 to 10. So it's a big rep range. That way you can really taste the intensity of the low rep ranges and also go high up and accumulate a ton of volume. Then we superset this with dumbbell or machine rows. I want something that is going to develop the upper back, but not tax the lower back. 4 sets of 6 to 12. This is your first line in your first set. With every program I ever make, I respect what is known as the pyramid of intensity and priority, meaning that the first sets are the most important. The lower down we go into the day, the least important. So if you have to skip something, always skip the latest sets. Then we move on to barbell, dumbbell, or machine overhead press. 3 to 4 sets of 6 to 10. This is for the shoulder, the development of that shoulder that is so important for the Henri Cavill physique. Then we do dumbbell or easy bar curls for the biceps, 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12, and then decline sit-ups, 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 15. In the same line of thinking, the pyramid of priority and intensity is respected in this case. If you look at what starts the superset or giant set in this case, it's your heavy overhead push. So an overhead press, a vertical press. This is the most important one, the most intense. Then there's a curl. A curl is very important as well, but less intense because it recruits less muscle. And then the decline sit-up is a pure isolation for the abs. So you understand the logic in this. The deeper you go into the giant set, the more fatigued you become, but the less intense the movements are, so the more adapted you are to the movement. Then when the decline sit-up ends, you rest for 3 or 4 minutes and you start again with the high intensity movement after your resting period. And then we close that Monday upper with cable flies or bent arm pec deck. So it's going to be up to you which one you want. I want another movement for the chest that is focused entirely on the stretch. 4 sets of 12 to 15. We're going to do quote unquote a lightweight on this. And then we're going to do some upright rows or lateral raises, again up to your preference. 4 sets of 10 to 15 to completely crush and finish the shoulder. At this point, you did an horizontal press, a vertical press, plus an isolation movement for the shoulder, so your shoulder should be completely smoked. Anything above that would be junk volume. And we finish that set with reverse or hammer curls, 4 sets of 8 to 12, for additional forearm work. Forearm isolation is very important. We get some more bicep involvement as well, so it's all good. This day is super important because you see that we hit all of the key muscles of the upper body, which is why it's on Monday. It's because it's when you are at your freshest. Then I give you a day to recover plus an extra day, so 48 hours in between sessions, because your Wednesday is going to be the lower sessions that are going to start with barbell or Zercher squat. Zercher if you want more upper back development, barbell if you want just pure quad, hamstring, posterior chain, etc., etc. It's fine to do any type of knee flexion in RD. Pick something that you enjoy. 3 sets, so fix, 6 to 8 reps so that we get quality reps, but also a lot of volume. You could also do another type of knee flexion. That is going to be a belt squat or hack squat or leg press. In this case, you would do 4 sets of 6 to 12 because there is less systemic fatigue on the entire body, especially the spine. So you can load more, you can target the quads more. It is up to your preference. You could even do a rotation between the two if you so wish. And you're going to superset that with neck extensions, so the rule also applies here. Because I have you do a heavy squatting pattern, I'm not going to have you superset that with something strenuous. So neck extension is going to take very little energy, but be very important because neck isolation is key if you want to get yoked. Then we have you do Romanian deadlifts or block pulls. So Romanian deadlift is more posterior chain development. Block pulls is more upper back, up to you. 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12. I just want to make a quick pause here to insist on the fact that these could also be rotations. So on week A, you could be doing Romanian deadlifts, on week B, block pulls. This would give more flexibility to the program. I have come to believe that this type of rotation is important, but as long as you use your instinct, you will see that it's perfectly easy to jump from one to the other. Then there's going to be some behind the back cable curls, 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 12, so more bicep isolation. In this case, there's going to be lightweight because the bicep is trained in a stretch position. Then we're going to have you do seated calf raises, 3 to 4 sets of 15 to 20. So very little calf isolation, but just some extra put into the program because it costs absolutely nothing. Then some lat pull downs, 4 sets of 8 to 12, or weighted pull-ups, 4 sets of 6 to 8. It is up to preference again. In this case, I would of course always recommend you prioritize the weighted pull-ups. This is going to be a heavy movement for the lat and the development of the upper back in general, and it's very important that you do not skip it. You understand that at this point, here, even though the Romanian deadlifts and the block pulls happen earlier, I place them here because there are heavy movements that give a ton of tonnage, but you can sort of skimp with the rule of the pyramid of priority here. And if you are to skip something, skip the second line, do not skip your weighted pull-ups. Then you do some dumbbell or upper chest shrugs, which are pretty much just shrug variations, for more yoke development that is not going to recruit the lower back or tax you too much, 4 sets of 12 to 15, and you finish with a French press or behind the head cable extension, 4 sets of 10 to 12 for the development of the long head. Even though the long head is not super developed, it is always a good idea to actually grow it because I have found that it pushes the bicep upward as it grows. So even if you technically don't want bigger triceps, if you are obsessed with biceps like I am, you will see and also find that developing that tricep is also going to make the bicep look bigger. So this is the upper and lower, okay? A lot of work goes into this. And at this point, you are most likely very fatigued. That is good. This is the fatigue that is going to make you jacked. On Friday, you'll see that the full body takes a twist because I'm trying to spare some of the muscles that we really taxed a ton. Like, for example, the bicep or the chest that we got damaged a lot. And instead, we're going to focus on other areas that are still a little bit fresh and can be crushed. So you start your full body with an incline press or a Viking press. If you still have some freshness in your chest, you can do the incline press. If you want something more vertical for the shoulders only, because the shoulders did not get hit on the lower day, so they are perfectly recovered at this point, you can do a Viking press. It could also be any type of vertical press. You catch my drift. 3 to 4 sets of 6 to 12. Very wide rep range. I give you wide rep ranges because you will get to understand that at this point, when you are at this level, your ability to progressively overload is going to require not just weight on the bar, but also rep accumulation. So this is going to get you the chance to spend a lot of time with the same weight, to get acclimated to it and get as much as possible from as little as possible. And we superset that in the same line of thinking as with the Monday with Krock rows. So these are rows that I've described on my lat tier list in the past that are focused on the traps development, or dumbbell pullovers if you want more lats. It's up to you. I love both of these movements, so it really is a Cornelian choice in this case. You might really want to rotate these two because they're both so great and you're going to get addicted to both. 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12. Then we move on to farmer's carry. If you have the implement, you can never go wrong with farmer's carry, especially if you want the Henri Cavill's physique. You want those massive traps and that yoke. That's the way to go. 3 sets of 30 meters or trap bar deadlifts. So let's say you're someone who recovers quick and wants more posterior chain. Right there, you have an implement that is easy to actually put into a program, doesn't tax the lower back that much, is going to stretch the traps, and is going to get you some nice gains. So 3 sets of 6 to 10 higher rep ranges. As you can see, you never max out. It's a bodybuilding program. Maxing out or doing 2 reps, 3 reps has its place, but in bodybuilding, we want to avoid that as much as possible. And you superset that with cable lateral raise, so shoulder isolation. You can never do too much isolation for the shoulder. Unless, of course, you do 15 sets, but as you got to understand here, I manage fatigue. So you do your lateral raises or incline cable flies. Up to you if you want more upper chest and more chest development, or if you want more pure delt isolation. 3 sets of 12 to 15, higher rep ranges. And then you're going to do your ab isolation movement, Russian twists or leg raises, 3 sets of 15 to 20. Let me be insistent. Ab isolation is non-negotiable if you want to be higher body fat and have a six-pack. If you want the abs to show without having to be all sucked up and all cut down at very low body fat and very low body weight, you're going to have to train them. That is the only way to make bare mode look good, and this is why Henry Cavill's physique is so desired. I guarantee you that if in that Superman scene he had a flat stomach with no abs, he would look much, much worse. Having a nice defined core makes the entire body look so much better. So that's absolutely necessary that you do not skip the ab isolation. Then there is a twist. So for more flexibility, to end the full body, I give you a choice. Do you want more lower body focus or do you want more upper body focus? If you want more lower body focus, you can do leg extensions or split squats, 4 sets of 15 to 20, plus pinwheel or hammer curls, 4 sets of 10 to 12, and your neck flexions, 4 sets of 10 to 15. If you want more upper body, however, and your chest, for example, craves more volume, you can do machine or dumbbell chest press, 4 sets of 8 to 12. And then the rest of the set is more bicep, more forearm, and more neck. This is the core and the key aspects of the program. It's the 3 days of the split, and this is what is going to get you the Henry Cavill's physique. As you get to understand, the chest, the shoulder, the biceps, and the abs, the traps are all met. All of these muscles are hit a lot with high intensity and high volume in this program. Then the lats, upper back, neck, forearm, quads are hit a little bit less, and then the triceps, posterior chain, triceps, again, the long head, the calves, the rear delts, are hit almost never, and that is exactly the point. That is what is going to build the body that we want. Then there is the Sunday. So why did I add a Sunday? I add a Sunday because there are some muscles that could use some more work. It is absolutely optional. You do not have to do it. So you're going to do standing or seated calf raises, 6 to 10 sets of 10 to 20, and neck flexions or extensions as a superset, 6 to 10 sets of 10 to 25. So it's going to be a lot of reps with almost no weight. It's very boring. I recommend you watch a podcast or you listen to something, you learn something new as you do it. Then you're going to do shrugs through the 4 sets of 15 to 20 to get more trap isolation plus banded triceps extension to keep the elbow healthy. You do a shit ton of presses in this program and you might develop elbow tendonitis. Band triceps extension are going to take care of that. You're going to do 3 or 4 sets of 10 to 30. I wrote 10 to 15 here, but in reality, there should be no rep ranges here. The goal is not to go to failure here. It's just to get some blood into the tendon, into the joint, etc., get some synovial fluid going, blah, blah, blah. Then you do planks, 3 sets of 1 minute. So it's just a way to get more ab isolation. You can never get enough ab isolation. And then for all of you guys out there who are athletic or who like to swim, you like to run, you like to hike, this is your moment of the week to do it. Low impact physical activity, if possible, should be taking place on Sunday. And that takes care of that. It's all I have to share with you guys. As always, the program is free and available for you in the description, as I just described. I firmly believe that anyone who is willing to put in the work, who is willing to eat properly, can get the Henry Cavill's physique, but it's going to be entirely up to you. If you're one of these people who think that it's impossible, he's on drugs, blah, 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 good for you, you'll be small for the rest of your life. But for the few of you who actually have what it takes and are willing to dedicate themselves to get the body of their dreams, you have the perfect plan, and now the last thing left for you guys to do is to apply it. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.